Radio Rahim here with Andy Lee. Listen, first of all, when you see this kind of stage, this much production, all that's gone into these fights in Saudi, you wish you might have held the gloves on the palms a little bit longer.
I wish this was around in my day, really. If I could rewind the clock, but phenomenal events they put on. I don't know, sure if you were at the Ring magazine launch
Of course.
last night. It was incredible, just a wonderful event. So many great champions there, and a great atmosphere in the room, and really a celebration of boxing. So they're doing a great job out here. Riyadh season, Turkey Al Sheikh, they've changed boxing, and we're all benefiting from it. Fans and fighters are all benefiting.
And in no division more so than in the heavyweight division. I mean, the year that we've had, even the year prior, has been amazing. We even saw an undisputed king crown, but that rematch is right on the doorstep right now. And you may not be lacing up the gloves, but you're certainly involved in all the big fight here. First, when we saw the first fight, you as a trainer, how did you metabolize what went on, not only on the scorecards, but with each fighter, hurt, not hurt?
It was like you see the highlight of round 9, and that's what sticks in people's minds. But it was an extremely close fight, and a lot of those rounds could have been. It was very hard to split them. You could argue one way, for each of them in any of those rounds. So I think the second fight. I think this fight on Saturday is going to be exactly the same. I think there'll be early rounds where it's hard to pick. One will win one round, another will win the next round. I think it'll come down to the last 4 rounds of the fight. That's where conditioning comes in, concentration comes in, determination, bravery, courage. That's where those things come in.
The reason I leaned on the word hurt is because Tyson has been saying all week to Usyk's face that you couldn't get me out of there. You hit me with everything you had, 10 punches, and you still couldn't get me going. Do you think that that's the proper attitude to come into this fight with, as if Usyk can't hurt him?
It's just Tyson's approach, isn't it? Tyson is a unique individual, and as everyone, I want to ask you about Tyson's demeanor this week. I want to ask you about Tyson's approach. I'm not here I can't analyze. All I see in him is a very determined person who's got something to prove to himself. I don't know if it's about legacy for him. He will become the 3 times heavyweight champion if he wins on Saturday. But I'm not sure if he thinks so. I think he just knows someone's beaten me, and I want to beat him back in a better fashion.
He said that he believes he won the fight, and he doesn't need to make any adjustments because he won it the first time, and he'll win it again. From a trainer's perspective, do you think that is the correct approach?
I think rematches are one on adjustments. Small adjustments have big effects, and we saw the adjustments he made in the second Wilder fight. He was a completely different fighter, and I think you'll see something similar on Saturday.
What do you think might give him the edge this time that didn't get him his hand raised the first time?
Well, he's going to be a lot fitter, and he's got a lot to prove. He's a hungrier guy because he lost. I think that alone will give him a huge edge, to himself, to be better.
If he does come through, and your man Joseph Parker comes through in February, well, that's going to create a pretty awkward situation, wouldn't it?
I don't want them to fight. I don't ever want to see them 2 fight. They're so close as friends. We've had Christmases together. We've trained together. We've been on holidays together. They can rule the world together. 2 champions, they don't need to fight. Like Sugar said to me, if we do fight, we'll have 1 ring walk. We'll walk to the ring together. There won't be 2 ring walks. We'll just walk to the ring walk, 1 big celebration, have a fight, and go out as friends. So that's a nice image.
You reckon they'll rule the heavyweight division like the Klitschkos?
It's gonna, yeah. The Bash brothers, or the Morecambe brothers. But exactly, Tyson's gonna do it on Saturday. Joe will do it in February, and all the belts will be under the Gold Star, Duco, Fury, GXP King, Gypsy Joe, Parker.
In all seriousness, with undisputed potential, because Tyson Fury has never gotten that accolade. No matter how much he says it doesn't matter, it matters. Do you really think that they would resist the opportunity, each man, to be an undisputed heavyweight champion?
Honestly, It'd be very difficult for me to train someone to fight Tyson. It really would. I don't think I could do it. I don't know. But you know, with Joe and Tyson, with them being good friends like they are, and if they were to make incredible money from the fight, if the money was there, and they said, Tyson would say to Joe, let's just have a fight. We've sparred many times. You're going to make a lot of money for your kids. I'm going to make a lot of money for my kids. Joe would say the same. Best man wins. We're best friends after the fight. You know what I mean? Let's go share our money.
We're looking a little bit further down the line than we can know, but we do know for sure that
Yes.
February 22nd, Joseph Parker has a hell of a challenge ahead of him before any of this conversation matters. Yeah. How do you approach Dubois?
He's a wrecking machine. He's a dangerous fighter, in form, been active. Joe's in form. Joe's had 2 of the best wins of any fighter, I think, against Wilder and Zhang. The 2 guys, nobody wanted to fight it. Joe stepped in and took those fights. How do we approach it? We got a great game plan. We're working on it every day. And I don't want to give too much. I'm not sure if I should give as much away, but you got to get his respect, definitely. Let him know you're there. Let him know he just can't punch without being answered. And yeah, I'm not gonna give anything away about the game plan, but we're ready. We're gonna work hard. We know it's a hard fight. Joe can definitely win it. With Dubois can definitely win it too. If you stand around and mess around with him, he'll knock you out. So we've got to be careful.
Well, one part of the game plan that you can't hide, Joseph looks bigger, and he's telling me he's going to get even bigger. Obviously, that's a choice. What advantage do you believe that gives you?
He's punching with more power. You know, he's not going to be moved as easy. He's going to be a lot stronger inside and being physical. He's like, he's not the tallest heavyweight, Joe. He's not far. There's not much between him. There may be an inch or 2 between him and Daniel, but he's got to try to maximize what he can, get the advantages where he can. So being heavier and stronger will help him. He's not going to lose anything in his mobility. We've made sure of that. He's still going to be able to move, be as flexible as he is, but he's carrying a bit more weight to have more power.
And lastly, what do you think of the conversations that are being had around Klitschko's return, potentially making his ring return even against Dubois if Dubois were successful, and what Emmanuel Stewart might say about Klitschko hanging on this long?
Yeah, I think it never ends well when some fighters comes back from. Once you retire, I think you should stay retired, and because there was a reason for retiring in the first place, wasn't there? He's a great friend of mine, Vladimir. I'd like to see him fight anybody except Joseph and Tyson, because I don't want to see those fights again. I don't. I really like Vladimir. He's done so well in his career. Great champion. What's there to come back for? To what has he got to prove to anybody? Nothing. And I think he's an ambassador now for Ukraine and for himself and for boxing. I don't think there's anything to come back for. But if he wants to, good for him.
Well, same can be said for you. You had an incredible career. It was fun to
I'm
watch.
not coming back.
But, you know, you're still a part of the big show. You'll be in the corner. You're definitely influencing what's happening in this big stage. So it's a pleasure to talk to you. Radio Rahim with Andy Lee.